Hello students, welcome to online course of Mechanical Measurement and Metrology. Myself Abhishek Trivedi from Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. We are discussing measurement of the screw thread and gears. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the gear tooth vernier caliper, how it is useful for the measurement of the particularly width at the particular depth, and then we have discussed the basic constant chord method and how we can measure the constant chord length by using the equation. Today we are going to discuss the basic errors which are generated in the gear measurement, and by ending our lecture we are going to discuss the Parkinson gear tester. Probably today we are completing our chapter, and from next lecture we are going to start our new chapter. So let us start with the concept of errors. Errors. We have discussed so many errors in the previous chapters, like the measurement chapter of the measurement chapter in the metrology. We have discussed very much classified errors, but in particular gear measurement we have very limited error, but all the errors needs to be cop up, or we can say all the errors needs to be eliminated by using the some sort of implications. We are supposed to do the elimination of the error, or we have to make a proper arrangement. We can say we have to make a proper correction factor to eliminate the effect of the error from the gear profile. Error means the deviation of the true value from the required value, or we can say the deviation of the actual value from the measured value, shows the basic concept of the errors. The very first error which is generated in the gear measurement, that is the profile error. The profile error is the maximum distance of any point on the tooth profile form and normal to the design of the profile is known as the profile error. Suppose you are supposed to find, or we can say you are supposed to design a basic gear having the cycloidal profile. From the normal of the profile, if we have to find the distance, suppose the particular one point is slightly deviated from the gear profile, then the maximum distance covered by this particular point, the distance from the baseline, is known as the profile error. Second one, that is the cyclic error. As the name suggests, if the error will generated during the each revolution, then it is known as a cyclic error. Suppose in the whole gear there is a one teeth which is slightly break down. Suppose this is the breakage of the teeth. From here the teeth has been break down. Then I can say that during the each revolution, when this particular teeth will come into contact with the matting teeth, it will generate some sort of the error. Then this error is known as a cyclic error. Third one, that is a periodic error. As the name suggests, if the error occurs in the every regular interval, then the error is known as a periodic error. We can say that the cyclic error is a periodic error, because the cyclic error at the each and every rotation, at the each and every particular time frame, the error will be repeated. But we cannot say that the periodic error, that is a cyclic error, because it might some chance in the, let's say, 10 second we are supposed to find the two rotation, but at every 10 second we are supposed to find the periodic error. So I cannot say that at each and every rotation I am going to find the periodic error. So this is the basic concept of the periodic error and the cyclic error. Next one, that is the runout. Runout means the total range of the reading of the fixed indicator at the point to the rotating surface is known as a runout. Then we have the radial runout and axial runout. The radial runout is the runout measured along a perpendicular to the axis of the rotation, then it is known as a radial. And if we are measured the runout along the parallel to the axis of the rotation, then it is known as the axial runout. Suppose this is gonna be the axis of the rotation. Our particular gear is rotating in this particular axis of the rotation, then whatever the runout measured perpendicular to the axis of the rotation is known as the radial runout, and whatever the rotation which is whatever the runout which is measured along, or we can say parallel to the axis of the rotation, is known as the axial runout. This is the basic difference between the axial and radial runout. Then eccentricity. Eccentricity is the difference between the axis of the rotation to the geometrical axis, is known as a eccentricity. Suppose the shaft has been given with the geometrical axis. The gear is attached and the gear is rotate. But suppose the gear is slightly rotate in the outward direction, then there might some chance that the gear is rotating according to this particular axis. This axis is known as the axis of rotation of gears. This is the axis of shaft, or we can say geometrical axis. So the distance between, or we can say the difference between these two axes, is known as the eccentricity. And the last, that is the backlash. Backlash means the play between the matting of the tooth surface is known as a backlash. Due to the continuous use of the gears, there might some chance of the wear and tear according to tribology theory. Then just because of the wear and tear, there might some chance of the wear out of the surfaces, and it creates some sort of the play in between the matting surfaces. So guys, this is the basic concept of the errors which are occurred in the gear measurement. While you are performing the measurement of the gear, you are supposed to find some sort of the errors, and then you have to classify the errors, and according to the classification of the error, you can cop up or you can eliminate the errors, or you can make a correction factor for the particular error. Now the last topic of the chapter, that is the Parkinson gear tester. Parkinson gear tester is one form of the comparator. We can say that this is one form of the comparator. This is not the exact comparator, but it's one form of the comparator. In the topic of the gear terminology, we have checked that we have more than 20 different parameters for the gear profile. We have more than 6 to 8, or we can say 8 plus number of errors which are generated in the gear reading. We have to find the width of the gear tooth at the particular depth D, and suppose I have the gear having the number of teeth, let's say more than 20 teeth, then I have to repeat the procedure for 20 times for a single gear. Suppose now we are going to discuss the current era of the production, that is a mass production era. The manufacturing firm will producing the 100, or we can say 1000 gear in a day. Then it is nearly impossible to check each and every gear teeth by teeth with checking all the parameters that all the gears are working properly or not. To eliminate such tedious work, we have designed a comparator. What we are going to do, suppose in the mass production a company will manufacturing same gears with the same profile. Then what I am going to do, I will design a matting gear which properly mat with our production gear. Suppose this is known as a master gear or matting gear, or we can say standard gear. This is known as our workpiece. What I am simply do, I will, after the manufacturing of the workpiece, after the manufacturing of the manufactured gear, I will simply attach the gear with the matting gear and start rotating the matting gears. A high sensitive dial indicator has been placed on the assembly of the carriage. Once we are starting the master gear, the gear will directly act and the gear will try to rotate the particular workpiece or working gear, and once the working gear will start rotating, both the gears will make a proper physical contact at the matting surfaces. If there is any of the problem, if there is any of the breakage, if there is any chance of the error generated in the working gear, the working gear will slightly change its position of matting, and if the position of the matting will be changed, then I can say that the particularly matting gear will change its position, and due to the horizontal movement of the matting gear, it will directly affect on the value of the dial indicator. And once the dial indicator will start rotating the pointer, we can check that the position of the pointer. If the pointer will rotate, let's say this is the condition of the pointer, if the pointer will rotate in the predefined range, we are going to accept the workpiece. But if the pointer will deflected, which is beyond our range, this is beyond our range, then we can say that this is the basic case of we can say that this is the basic case of rejection of the workpiece. So this is the basic concept of the Parkinson gear tester. The figure shows the side view of the Parkinson gear tester. We already discussed what is the Parkinson gear tester and how it is work. We have a proper stand on which the platform on which the whole experiment is to be set over. The master gear with the fixed spindle. The spindle is fixed and motor is attached. Then the matting gear, or we can say the gear which is under test, we are going to make a proper physical contact with the master gear and the matting gear. The matting gear is attached on the floating carriage. This is the floating carriage. As you can check, the wheels are provided. So this is a floating carriage. A calibrated spring is attached. The calibrated spring is attached, and the tendency of the spring is to pull the working gear to the master gear. The tendency of the spring is to pull the working gear near the master gear. So this is the basic tendency of the gear. And the dial indicator is attached to the carriage assembly. Dial indicator is attached to the carriage assembly. Once we start moving this particular gear, once this gear start moving, it will directly affect the gear and it will start moving the working gears. And once both the gears will start moving, if there is no any chance of error, if there is no error, then we can say that the dial indicator will hold its position with the predefined condition. But if there is some chance of the error, suppose the teeth has been break out, suppose the teeth is not in the proper length, or suppose there is any chance or any failure of the profile, then there might some chance that the floating carriage will slightly move inside or slightly move outside. And once this particular horizontal motion will be generated, the dial indicator will start moving to and fro. And due to the motion of the floating carriage assembly to and fro, the dial indicator will start moving in the rotational direction. And due to this rotational direction, we can make sure that the particular position of the dial indicator, and once we are supposed to find the value of the dial indicator, we can say that the particular matting gear or particular workpiece which is under testing is accepted or rejected. You can check thousands of the gears by using the Parkinson gear tester in the single setup in a single day. But by using the conventional method, by taking the gear tooth vernier caliper and checking each and every gears teeth by teeth, is a tedious work, and it is nearly impossible to check in the mass production concept, mass production era. Though we are using those particular methods to check the master gears, but we are not using those methods to check the gear which are under testing. The figure shows the 3D image of the particularly gear tester, Parkinson gear tester, over which this is, you can check from the figure, this is the this is the master gear with the fixed spindle, then this is the working gear with movable spindle, and you can check here the dial indicator has been placed. Here top and here side view also having the different dial indicators. We are supposed to provide the number of dial indicators to check the accuracy of the gear, to check the different run out of the gear. Let's say axial run out, radial run out, then we have to check the eccentricity and so many errors we have to check. In a single setup we are using different dial indicators, and then we are using the particularly Parkinson gear tester for the mass production concept, for the mass production era. So guys, here we are winding our lecture. We have ended our chapter. Today we have discussed the basic concept of the errors, or we can say the errors generated in the measurement of the gears, and then we have discussed the routine conventional Parkinson gear tester, which is nowadays highly useful for checking the gear profiles in the mass production concept. We are ending our lecture and we have completed our chapter as well. From next lecture we are going to start our new chapter. Till then, thank you.